Hey, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Tower Crane Television. I'm your host, Jay and I, the Tower Crane Guy. Today we're going to talk about pre-trip inspection, assessment of the job, and I'm going to walk you guys kind of through that. So when you get to the job site in the morning, if the crane, is already assembled and everything, you're going to want to do an assessment of the job site. Just kind of look around, make sure that nothing has changed since you shut the crane down the night before. Sometimes operator will leave before the rest of the crew does, and they may move stuff. So you're always doing an assessment of the job when you come in the morning. Make sure things are kind of the way you left them. That plays a part on how you may operate the crane that day. If they move something, you may have to stay away from what they moved if it's up in your area of swing. So doing an assessment of that. And I wanted to also talk about wind and lightning being a factor of being a tower crane operator, and the things that we have to do on a daily if there's a lot of weather as far as wind and rain to assess that. They have plenty of apps you can download to your phone, weather apps, WeatherBug, some other applications for lightning as well, and always assessing that if you have a lot of weather coming into play. You may assess the crane several times a day due to wind. Today happens to be a pretty windy day for me. I've had wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour today. So I'm always assessing the next pick and how I'm going to do it based on the wind. And if I have to weather vane the crane for a little bit, just let the wind calm down. If wind is staying really strong at 30 plus mile an hour winds, well, you may need to shut the crane down for a little bit. And in lightning, if I have lightning 10 miles or less out, the crane automatically gets shut down for a bit until the lightning passes. And they have lightning apps that you can assess that with too. And then, your pre-trip inspection, assessing the tower on the climb up, checking all your pins and your bolts. And then you have your pins and sheaves and wire rope when you come up on deck. And you need to be checking those and making sure that they're in good working order, and nothing has changed overnight. Maybe there might have been some severe weather and the crane had to weather vane quite a bit. Maybe somebody climbed your crane while you were gone and might have done something to it. So those are all things you're checking for to make sure that no one has done anything to your crane, or that the weather hasn't affected your crane in any way, shape, or form. These are checks and measures that you do daily. You have an inspection sheet that you have to do daily, and you have a weekly inspection sheet as well, and a monthly. So these are things that you need to be doing and checking upon the climb up. Then I do a post-trip inspection as well. I check the crane at the end of the day to make sure it doesn't have any more stress on it, as far as from operation or from wind or maybe even from lightning. When you're not operating the crane, if the crane is ran from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and you're gone for that night and there was a severe storm, you never know if lightning could have struck your crane. So you're always checking the crane, and I'm always checking welds, I'm checking pins, I'm checking for any type of stress in the crane. So these are all things you want to do as far as inspection, and you want to make sure that you're doing them daily. And I do, like I said, a post-trip inspection as well at the end of the day to make sure that the crane doesn't have any more stress on it. So, but wind and lightning is our biggest enemy in this, as far as a tower crane operator, and any crane for that matter, but tower crane operators especially, because you're so high up in the air that you will feel the full effect of the wind and lightning if that comes into your workday. Right now we're doing wall forms again, but I just wanted to touch on the importance of the assessing the crane and assessing wind and lightning when it comes into play. There's many, like I said, there's many apps that you can download to make those assessments and check those things to make sure that they're not going to play a factor in your workday. And like I said, in assessing the crane, doing your pre-trip and your post-trip inspections are pretty important to make sure that you're getting the most out of the crane. And if something is wrong with the crane, you can assess it and get it fixed as quickly as possible. There's nothing worse than having your crane shut down on a job site. You're not working, neither are those guys. So you always want to be making sure that you're keeping an eye on your equipment, assessing the equipment, assessing the atmosphere, assessing the job site, making sure there's no distractions, nothing you're going to swing into, nothing that's going to be in your way, and knowing how to work around those types of things if the job has changed. If placement of certain equipment has moved, you want to be able to assess those things and be able to work around them. And I do that by assessing the job site when I come in, see if anything has changed. And you will have that in the process of doing any type of building, whether it's a parking garage or a hotel or an apartment, whatever you're building, bridge, whatever. So, but I just wanted to touch on the importance of assessment and looking over the job site, checking your weather, checking wind speed, and checking for lightning, and what you have to do to try to work around those things as much as possible. Or you even have to shut the crane down for a period of time until they clear. So just the importance of assessment and always knowing your surroundings and what's going on with the surroundings. You try to always be 10 steps ahead, especially in a tower crane, because it isn't like you can just get out of the cab and be down on the ground. It takes a little while. So anyway, I hope everyone's having a beautiful Thursday morning. I know I am. I get to do what I love to do every single day, which is be a tower crane operator. There's no job in the world like it. I hope everyone has a blessed day. This is gonna concede this episode of Tower Crane Television. I'm your host, Jay Knight, the Tower Crane Guy. Remember, it doesn't make dollars. Sure the hell doesn't make any sense. You are only as good as your last pick. And I promise you guys, we'll see you on the next pick on Tower Crane Television. Peace. Have a beautiful day.